Good morning. I'm Jen Haston, and on this week's episode of Haston Helping Hands, I'm going to talk to you about why the mantra, all feedback is not criticism, is causing me a lot of happiness. So a few months ago, 6 to be exact, I was getting a lot of feedback at work. Well, I was new at the job, so imagine that I didn't know all the things that I needed to know to do my job. So people were giving me feedback about how I needed to do it better. And I found myself getting very defensive and concerned. And then I was reading this book called Soundtracks. It was actually part of the launch team for that book. It's a book by Jon Acuff, who is an author I've been following for almost 10 years now. And this book is talking about how we talk to ourselves, the way that it works and how it matters, and the way that we say things to ourselves really matters. And so I came up with this mantra, which is that all feedback is not criticism. I will listen and assume positive intent. And the truth is that it has really helped me. It's only been, I'd say in the last couple of months, that I've really started to embody it. It's an affirmation I say to myself every day in the mirror before I start the day, because I need the reminder every day that all feedback is not criticism. So one of the things that separates this out from just being a typical affirmation is the fact that it's born out of my own experience. I was trying to figure out why I was getting so defensive about the feedback. And I realized that it was because, as you so often do, you look back at your childhood on things like this and go, oh, that's why. Because I was criticized so much. And so it made me kind of paralyzed sometimes not to do anything because I was going to get feedback that what I was doing was wrong. And so because of that, it stopped me from being bold and making strong choices. And so because of that, I literally would stop myself in the middle of doing things because I'd go, well, if I'm going to do it wrong, I shouldn't do it at all. And it has taken me years and years to realize that all feedback is not criticism. Some feedback is criticism. Some feedback is definitely criticism, and people are saying it to you to hurt you. But I find that most of the time people aim at the good. And so when people are giving you feedback, it's to tell you, hey, you messed up back there. That's something that you probably need to look at. And this brings me to a topic that, like you, I am a practitioner on this journey. I am absolutely not an expert. I am a work in progress. 2 years ago, I had an incident with 2 Black women who I, at the time, I'm not gonna position this differently. I said something racist. And I learned in that moment that impact beats intention every time. And in becoming what I'm working towards is to be an anti-racist and stamp out anti-Blackness, I realized that that is not what I was doing in that moment. And I wish I had spent more time listening to the feedback that I was given, that I was blessed to get. Because when people stop and educate you, it's a gift. And the best thing you can do is say, thank you for the feedback. And it's taken me a really long time to actually truly be thanking people for their feedback and not just saying it sarcastically. And the biggest thing about this incident was the fact that I apologized and they didn't forgive me. The relationship was never the same. And that is 1,000% okay, because they are allowed, the people that you perpetrate things to, especially if it's racism, they are not only allowed, but it is 100% acceptable for them not to accept your apology. And I learned from that incident, and I'm not proud of it. I share it with you to say that that was a good example of when feedback was hard to listen to, hard to hear, hard to take. And I learned how important it is to speak carefully when you speak. Most importantly, when someone takes the time to educate you, listen and assume positive intent. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jen Haston, and this has been Haston Helping Hands. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, perhaps with someone who has trouble with feedback like I did. Thanks.